Hello, welcome to the Business Breakthrough Bonanza. 3 massive shifts that you can make this year to break through in your business and get exactly what you want. More money, more success, and more freedom, right? So business is like an old car. You fix one piece and another one breaks. It's like an old body. When you fix a hip, you break a knee or the other hip. With both a body and a car, the longer you wait to fix something, the quicker something else breaks. This happens because when one piece of our car or our body is not functioning optimally, other parts have to work harder to compensate. So my mum waited a good couple of years to get her first hip replaced, and shortly after that, the second one needed replaced, because it had been compensating and working extra hard for 2 or more years that she'd had to wait for a surgery. The reality is that when everything is functioning well and flowing together, it all takes less effort, right? And that's what we want, isn't it? Like we don't want for our lives and our businesses to be hard, right? And it's the same for us, right? So what I've discovered in my 20 years or so working in business and helping other business owners and entrepreneurs, we've all got similar issues and challenges, right? Well, they show up differently. They're all basically the same. So today, what I want to share with you is what some of those issues are and how they show up. And I'm going to show you what you can do instead so that you can have that breakthrough to get more money, more success, and more freedom. Because let's be honest, that's what we all want, right? Anyone in my world who stays wants that, or they pop up somewhere else, right? So those issues and challenges that are keeping you stuck and stressed in your business and keeping you where you're at, client-wise, income-wise, it's like my mum trying to get around on 2 crutches waiting for an operation. She needed help with her hip, and so do we as business owners. And I'm going to share with you how you can get my help with your breakthrough. When you break through and change how you handle those challenges and issues, you'll shift from being stuck and stressed to being prosperous and profitable. Okay? So while we're going through this, I want to, I have got some notes. So if you see me looking off to the side, that's what I'm doing. I've got lots to share with you. I don't want to forget anything. Now, I will try and keep an eye on the chat. So any questions you have, pop them in there and I will address them at the end or during, depending on when I see them, right? So what I'm going to show you today is the 3 massive shifts that you need to make in your business to make more money, have more success, and have more freedom. By the end of this training, you're going to know exactly how you can do that, right? And then it'll have been a success, right? And if you stay to the end, I'll give you something really juicy, right? I'm going to give you a free gift. So you want to stick around for that. I'll be sharing with you how you can get your business breakthrough free call with me. That is your first step to anything you want, right? Because it is about, we are where we are, we need to get through whatever is stopping us, whatever is between where we are and where we want to get. So before we get into the meat sandwich, if you still have your phone, if you're distracted by an open browser, email, or any other bright shiny objects, can you turn them off, please? Or put them on Do Not Disturb so that you can give this your full attention. If you're not paying attention, it's really tricky to pick up the little gems that will be the ones that help you. So make sure you have pen and paper or something to take notes on. Now, my encouragement is that you note down the actions you're going to take and the commitments you're making to yourself and the changes you're going to make as a result of what you're going to hear today, right? It's really important that those are, your notes are like actions that are going to move you forward. So some of you will know me, some of you won't. So who am I and why would you listen to me? So I'm Daphne and I'm your business success and freedom coach. Throughout my lifetime, I've done a lot of things right. I'm qualified, certified and credentialed. I've been coaching officially for a decade now and unofficially for another decade prior to that. I've walked my talk. I've birthed and grown numerous businesses in different fields with varying degrees of success. And as you can imagine, I've learned a wealth of lessons through my journey. I've done a lot of things wrong. I walked away from a successful business I loved. I crashed and burned out. And at that time, I just didn't have the support that I needed to make a different choice and to make a comeback. And I've spent too long in bad relationships and paid the price for that in more ways than I ever imagined possible. After having been in business and supporting women for around 20 years, I've figured out how to break through the hidden bullshit that keeps you small, to quiet your inner critic so you can make more money, so you can build a profitable business and a sustainable one, that's really important, and that you can live the lifestyle of your choice for you and your family. After spending tens of thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of dollars on courses, listening to other experts and feeling like I should be doing things differently or better because it never felt like I was doing enough, I finally started listening to myself. Through learning how to choose myself time and again amongst the turmoil, my signature path approach was born. And the path is your surefire way to make effective, empowered decisions that are based on your personal values, your beliefs, and your priorities. Recently, the three massive shifts that I'm going to share with you today have become obvious to me as they pop up in so many different lives, businesses, and situations all around the globe. I discovered all of this the hard way, and now you get to piggyback on my learning and get this the easy way. The hard way to do this, to make the money you want to make and to have a profitable business and claim your freedom, is to keep playing small, to keep your brilliance hidden from the world while you drown in people pleasing, to keep on doing what you're currently doing, to listen to all the gurus, learn all of their complicated systems and technologies, flogging yourself in your business, doing more and more, doing all the things, right? Working harder and longer. I've done all of that. Maybe you have too. We have a limited amount of time together today because your time is valuable and so is mine. I wish I could tell you everything and I wish that I could personalize this for you. Instead, here's what we're going to cover because all of that isn't possible in one free training, right? So you're here today because even though you're doing all the things you've been told you do in your business, you're not making as much money as you like. You don't have time to do all the fun things you'd love to do. And your days are overfull being everyone's everything. So much so that sometimes you're not sure who you are anymore. I've been where you are. I know how it feels. And that's why I'm sharing this with you today, so that you can break through from being stuck and stressed, and you can be prosperous and profitable in your business, so that you can make as much money as you want and then choose anything your heart desires. Because that is what freedom is about for me. It's about being able to choose anything your heart desires. And of course, to expand your choices, you need more money, right? So can you imagine a time when you're making all the money you want and you're actually working less hours than what you are now? Sounds incredible, doesn't it? But it is possible. What will your life be like then? In just 3 months from now, when you're prosperous and profitable, everything's flowing effortlessly and smoothly. What will be different? What will your family say? Your children? Your significant other? When all of a sudden you're free to choose anything your heart desires, right? When you're feeling that freedom. It's pretty exciting, right? I had a client recently do just that. Her business has gone from always being an overdraft, which meant she was stressing constantly about money and how to pay her bills, to always having money in the bank and increasing amounts and being able to pay her bills ahead of time. You can do this too. Let me show you how. So I want you to think about today, I'm going to share these 3 massive shifts with you today. And I want you to think about which of these will have the most impact in your business and on your life. Because you to make all 3 at once You want to prioritize one. One is going to stand out as being the most important one. So today is your day to courageously look at which of these shifts will benefit you most, and then start with that one and how specifically you can apply them to your situation. So that's what you're listening for in your notes and your actions that you're going to do and your commitments you're going to make, right? So why are you going to be making these shifts? What's the value in them for you? So as we dive into looking at them deeper, know that as a result of making these massive shifts, your connections and your relationships will flourish so that you'll feel fulfilled personally and professionally. You'll be more aligned with your values, and you'll feel deeply grateful for every day and moment in your experience, even the hard and tricky and bumpy and charged ones. It's true, it's possible, right? Your results and your client results will rapidly accelerate, and you will land into a feeling of professional trust and confidence that you didn't even know was possible. You'll have more clarity knowing the truth of who you are. You'll find more certainty in your intentions and choosing the lifestyle you truly desire. Like you'll know more certainly what it is that you want, right? And you'll take actions and decisions from energy and alignment. So you'll do them in tandem with your energy and in alignment with all of who you are. And you'll feel supported in aspects of your life that you don't right now. So this all comes with a warning. Hanging out with me may cause you to fall wildly in love with life and with yourself. Are you up for it? You up for this ride? Okay, we're going to look at massive shift number 1. And that is letting go of other people's expectations. So what happens with this is that when we're being who others expect us to be, we're playing small. And we're only being part of who we truly are. And when we're being that piece of us that keeps other people happy, and we're staying in our comfort zone, when we're doing all of that, we limit ourselves. And by doing that, we limit what's possible for us and what's possible in our business. We're limiting our potential, and we're closing the door on opportunity. Is that what we really want? Like we're saying, all these good things are out there banging on the door, and we're like, no, go away. Caution wall, we're not, nothing's changing. So let's look at a specific example here, because we want to look at examples of where this has really worked, right? One of my clients owns several large businesses, and she was tolerating stuff that she never intended to, and doing what everyone else expected her to do. You know why? Because on the very surface, that appears easier. It keeps the waters calm, it keeps people happy, and her choices, however, benefited everyone else in her life apart from her. Her health and well-being were massively affected. Prior to coaching with me, she was too deep in the trenches to actually be able to see what was going on, and therefore to make any different choices on her own. She was frustrated that she wasn't able to do the things that she wanted to do, right? Because she knew she had more potential, and she was frustrated by that, but she couldn't see how to change things. And really all along, she had the power to choose to do things differently. In truth, she'd been conditioned all of her life by society and her loved ones to do and to be what others expected of her. Any period of transition, like the one we're in now, is an opportunity for you to put your life back together differently than before. So you may have heard some of my annual forecast, or the other day I did my February one. 2021 is the year of course correction. It's the year for us to create in the unknown. Why is it creating in the unknown? Because last year stripped away a lot of what we knew to be true. A lot of the foundations, a lot of the things that we were certain would never change in our lifetime, and they did overnight. or within a few months, right? So we are creating a new way of being, a new way of living in the unknown. There's never been a better or more appropriate time to let go of the expectations of others and choose to be all of you, to choose to be all of who you were born as rather than who the world told you to be. There's never been a better time to be an entrepreneur. And when you're stepping into being an entrepreneur, or you're at a crossroads and you're turning a corner in your entrepreneurial journey, as a lot of people are at the moment with all the changes in the external world, you have the opportunity to do that in a way that is truly aligned with you. So how do you do that? Well, the magic of all of that, of your personal code, is hardwired into you on the day of your birth. It's your energetic DNA. And it is your secret success code, because it tells you what you don't already know about yourself. And it confirms things that you do know that you're not confident in. It gives clues as to how to shape and create or redesign your business and or your life. So how does that work? Well, numbers are the building blocks of our world, numbers and patterns. The entire universe is made up of patterns that are shaped by numbers. When we understand them, they reveal to us the patterns of flow and energy in our lives and in the universe. So there's layers upon layers of energy floating around the world. There's the universal energy. There's our personal energy. And they change at different times, right? And float in and out. And amongst our personal energy, there's lots of different layers too. The more that we understand this, the more they reveal to us the patterns of flow and energy in our lives in the universe. And there's a language of numbers that allows you to understand growth and to navigate challenges and uncover your contribution and purpose in life. Now, seriously, I wish I'd known this decades ago, right? Like what my purpose is and who my ideal client is and how I'm here to serve them. It's all in my numbers. It's all predetermined in my energy. It's all there the day I was born. When we know that, it's hugely empowering. And it also means that we are here fulfilling our purpose in the world. So it becomes insanely magnificent in how it plays out in our potential in our life. So a little story about this. At school, I often topped my class. And that led me to being pushed down an intellectual route to career and success. I was told I needed to do this and I needed to do that in order to succeed in life, to be any good, right? My birth code reveals that my emotional plane is dominant, not my intellectual. We have 3 planes of energy. We have an intellectual, we have an emotional, and we have a physical plane, right? And my emotional plane being dominant means that I struggle totally to do anything that I don't care about or that doesn't have a purpose. So that isn't in alignment with my purpose in being here in the world. And I chose not to go down that route. And I was seen as a failure when I dropped out of school and refused to pursue any further education. I was a failure by society's determination, right? Later, with 4 young children, I went to university and gained a collection of degrees in areas that I'd never have studied straight out of school. They wouldn't have interested me. And I wouldn't have put in the 100 hours to do the work in the past, right? By then, further education had purpose and meaning for me in the particular fields I chose. Had I known as a young adult what I know now, I'd not have felt a failure all those years, would I? I would have known that I was doing what I was meant to do. And when I figured out if I was meant to, I would, right? Other people, in this case adults who presumed they knew better, expected me to follow on to university from school, simply because I had the intellectual ability to do so. However, I wasn't motivated. I didn't give a toss. I didn't care. It just wasn't emotionally important to me at that point, and it had no purpose. You were born with your own unique personal code. You are here for a reason, and that reason is in your code. You are here on this planet at this time for a purpose, and that purpose is in your code. You are here on this planet to serve certain people in a certain way. That is in your personal code. Your personal code helps you understand the truth of who you are, why you're here, what your unique gifts are, and what your contribution to the world is. It accelerates your success and your results when you know it, right? It just opens so many doors. It's like, that's what I'm meant to do. That's who I serve. That's how I do it. This is what satisfies me. This is what I need to feel confident. This is who I am. Wow. Imagine it. Instead of spending decades discovering it, it's all just kind of there. Knowing and understanding your personal code makes course correcting and creating in the unknown take less effort. Because here's the bottom line is that creating in the unknown is scary, right? You know, you can throw spaghetti at the wall, you can shoot arrows into the wind and they might come back and hit you in the face, or they might land somewhere. If you know what it is that you are here to do, who you are here to help with it, and what your purpose is and how you need to do it, then you can stand and be confident and strong in that. And it's just insanely transformative to have that information at your fingertips. And it's reaffirming and validating to know that as well. It's your birth, it's your permission slip to be you in a radical way. And it'll blow your mind. It truly will. Its value for you is infinite and unlimited. It opens up mind-blowing possibilities that you never imagined were available to you. It increases your personal power to stand strongly as who you are, to be truly seen, and to see yourself. Often others will see things in us that we can't see. Knowing this helps you to see that too. Without knowing your personal code, it's easier to carry on doing what others expect of you to play small because you're not ruffling any feathers, right? Because stepping up and playing a bigger game takes effort. It's a risk that may or may not pay off. When you know your personal code, your birth code, you're no longer throwing arrows out willy-nilly in every direction to see what will stick. You're no longer guessing what will work and what won't. And you're no longer copying what others will do, hoping it works for you. When you know your personal code, you're empowered to be who you were born as, to step up, to step out, and to serve the people you're here to serve in the way that only you can do. And when you know that, you know what will work for you and what won't. You're able to avoid situations that will stress and overwhelm you. Pretty cool, right? You're able to choose from a place of personal power, knowing what's best for you. To unlock your personal code, your secret success code, all I need from you is your date of birth. And from that, I can tell you anything you want to know, really. So if that's something you want, I can certainly help you with that. And it's truly empowering for clients, so that can either be done as a one-off report or it becomes part of an ongoing work with me, where we delve into little bits of it where they are going to serve and support you as you need them, right? So it's always there. And we're constantly learning more about yourself amongst that. So I'm coded to be a natural leader, role model and guide. And yet for decades, more decades than not, that was squashed by my family because they felt a need to control me. I was made wrong whenever I stepped up as a leader in any situation. And when I realised that that was one of my innate gifts coded into me from birth, I had permission to step into it fully, regardless of what anyone else thought or said. No one can take that away from me again. Contained in your birth code will be gems similar to that will be radically permission given for you, as that one was for me. So the massive shift for you here, to tie back to the massive shifts that we're talking about, to go full circle on that first massive shift, is letting go of what other people expect of you, or who they expect you to be, how they expect you to behave, and what they expect you to do. And when you can know your birth code, it gives you radical permission to get rid of all of that, to stop playing small, to embrace your personal code and your inner gifts and be who you were born as, and shine your light brightly in the world and go forth and help the people you're here to help and fulfill the reason you're alive at this time, right? So that is massive shift number one, to let go of others' expectations of you. Moving on to massive shift number two, change your perspective of planning. And this is the time of the year, of course, when we're planning and we're goal setting and we're doing all of that, right? We've been entrenched into the idea at the beginning of the year we have to do it, and we feel like a failure when we don't, right? Any time is a good time. And there are some times that are better for you, and we'll go into that. So, in changing your perspective of planning, you could be at the moment listening to any and everyone, following their advice, buying their systems, their software, their technology, trying to fit into their box, taking advice from friends and family, actually from anyone who offers it. A lot of people do that, right? You smart goal it, you BHAG it, you reverse engineer it, you do all the things. And then you get into full-blown action. Your head is crammed, stressed and overloaded, and you're going full steam ahead despite anything else. Your already full days become even more overfull. Overwhelm and stress become so dialed up that they're all consuming. They kind of take over. I used to think this was how I should do it, how I should plan and set goals. It was how the experts said to do it. I paid them good money for their help. Why wouldn't I do it? I should do it, right? I'd berate myself when I didn't achieve my goals. I'd continually should on myself when I wasn't achieving the milestones along the way, when I wasn't doing it the right way. What I discovered is that this way of planning and goal setting keeps us stuck in our head. And when we keep on doing and doing, regardless of anything, despite the warning signals, the breadcrumbs along the way, we're doing it all in our mental plane. And we're not balanced when we do that, right? It's not sustainable, and it very, very rarely works. You see, we're multidimensional beings. From an energetic viewpoint, we have a mental plane, we have an emotional, spiritual plane, and we have a physical plane. When we do everything using our mental capacity only, we're top heavy. And we're going to fall down sooner or later. Like, it's not sustainable. When we're shooting on ourselves or allowing others to shoot on us, we're using external motivation to drive us rather than being internally motivated. Internal motivation is sustainable. External isn't. So where is your motivation coming from? And in your 12-month year, we each cycle through 7 energetic seasons. The dates and flavours of these seasons are unique to each individual. Each calendar year and month holds, so that's one layer of energy, right? Each calendar year and month holds its own universal energy that we all experience similarly. Add into that mix your own personal birth code, and you can begin to see what a rich and multi-layered energetic container you live and breathe in. And like with anything, when you're not aware of it, it's harder work than when you become aware of it, right? It's like you're groping in the fog or the dark and you just can't see where you're going. Now, Pythagoras, the great philosopher and mathematician, he lived around 500 BC. He's credited with being the father of numerology. However, it's actually been sourced back to Atlantis, around 22,000 years ago. So it's ancient, rich, revealing, and shockingly accurate. Numerology is the key to unlocking your secret success code, revealing your personal code, and everything that is your secret source, really. It's who you are for living the lifestyle of your choice and choosing anything your heart desires. It's the science of transformation and growth that helps you feel connected in a disconnected world. Because when you understand yourself more, you're more connected to yourself, and therefore you're also more connected to your spiritual self. When integrated, like when we tie all of those energy layers together, for you personally, we integrate them into an intuitive strategic planning process. It's an insanely powerful secret ingredient to radically up-level your ability to achieve anything your heart desires. It's just insane. You end up with an intuitive strategic plan that's full-bodied and aligned. So you're not just doing it from your head, it's energetically aligned with all of you, right? Your internal motivation will pull you forward with less effort. When you're aware of the energy, you're better equipped to handle whatever comes your way. I had an experience the other day where in the past it would have knocked me. I would have gone into a downward spiral. But because I knew what the energy of that day was and what my energy is at the moment, what season I'm in of those 7 seasons, I was able to deal with it in a very short period of time. I knew what I needed to do to stand in my power, right? And to process what had happened in this incident. So that is how it helps you to handle anything that comes your way, whether it's a life thing or a business thing. It's just you have so much more power over yourself and your energy. Now, this is a process that I help my clients with, and it can be a one-off high-level plan. So we might look at 3 months, we might look at a year, we might look at whatever you want to look at. It can be a one-off deep dive plan where we go deep in, or a high level alongside of a regular deep dive. So this is where we do a high level over the year, and then every 7 weeks we get together and we do a deep dive and we really nail down your energy for that 7-week season and your goals and how you can best use that energy to achieve your goals. All are hugely valuable, and a conversation will determine which will provide the support you need. Okay? It's a mind-blowing, massive shift in perspective for you and your business that will energetically support you and massively increase your results. So that is massive shift number 2. It is about changing your perspective of planning and making it a full-bodied experience rather than in your head. So that it's energetically aligned with you. Massive shift number 3. Are you ready? I know, fire hose, right? Hopefully you've got some really good notes about what you're going to do as a result of massive shift number 2. So is it more important to implement the number 1? And pretty much they will flow on from one to the other, which is your priority, right? Massive shift number 3 is about creating a sustainable structure. So sustainability is about whether you're able to stay in momentum without too much effort, without it being hard work. If it's repeatable, it's usually sustainable. When you're able to keep going at your current pace without wanting to give up, that's sustainable, right? That's kind of my ground rule. As your business grows, can it do so without you putting in heaps of extra work? If it can, your growth rate is sustainable, right? The goal here is to become sustainable so that you can grow towards your desired vision without exhausting, without sacrificing yourself or your resources, or both, because we're very good at doing that, us women, aren't we? With an intuitive strategic plan in place, you'll be expending your energy in a way that's sustainable, because you'll be working with your energy and the universal energy rather than against. So you'll be floating leisurely down the stream on a raft, all in control, rather than paddling like crazy to go upstream. When you're in tune, when you're resonant with the energy at play in your life and your world, you'll not be affected so much by situations and occurrences outside of your control. Not so long ago, this is different to the one I was telling you about a couple of minutes ago, I had a few unexpected incidents happen within the space of 48 hours that in the past would have probably knocked me flat for a week. And perhaps even had me struggle to get up again. Now, I'm going back, a year or two to where it would have had that effect on me. On this occasion, I was aware that a season change, remember I talked about how we each have 7 seasons in a year? So I was aware that a season change was occurring in my energetic field. And I was able to view the incidences that happened through the lens of curiosity. What I did was I twisted it around. So instead of going down that downward spiral and staying wiped out for probably several days, let's be honest, I wondered in awe that the universe was making these changes in preparation for what was to unfold in my upcoming season. So rather than feeling stressed and out of control, despondent and blue, I felt supported, excited, and empowered. I mean, that's huge, right? So it didn't stop me. I was able to breathe through it. I was able to look at it, and I was able to carry on and move forward, right? I was able to stand strong, knowing that I was safe, trusting that it was happening for good. So here's something about this. Did I topple down? Did I fall back and fall down? Or did I topple forward? So the 5, the energy of the 5, and 2021 is a 5 energy year, right? So the energy of the 5 is such that it has this wibble wobble. It's right in the middle of the energy grid, right? So it can wibble forward, or it can wibble back, it can wibble side, it can go either way, right? It has this wibble wobble thing. That's the energy of this year. So of course, when we're creating in the unknown, we can move forward or we can move back. And remember I said in my annual forecast earlier in January that part of the dilemma that we're going to face this year, us who are in growth mode, who are moving forward in our lives, who are positive people, who are, we are being proactive in this period of our lives, we want to move forward, and we will encounter people around us who want to go back to how things were, which is not sustainable, and in my humble opinion, never going to happen. And so we will be caught in this wanting to move forward and people around us wanting to hold us back. And that's where when you have a sustainable structure and support in place, you will know when to go forward. You will know that it's safe to, because you will have the structure there. And that's the other thing about the 5 year, is that it's, one of its aims is freedom, increased freedom. Freedom only happens when we have a certain element of discipline around, right? And we talked about that in my forecast earlier in the year, that freedom needs a structure to be free in, and that creates more freedom. So that's what's important at the moment, is that for you to make the changes you want to, for it to be sustainable, for you to keep on going, that's sustainable. And once you have a process in motion, but it's also sustainable in that you're partway through your growth, you're hopping down the track. Are you going to go up 3 feet from goal, or are you going to keep going? That's sustainable as well, right? It means you're going to keep pursuing. Now, here's the trick. When you have support around you, when you have that really good structure in place, and it does include some element of support usually, then you're better able to keep moving forward, right? As I was, I had the support of knowing all of this knowledge, of having my intuitive strategic plan in place, of knowing that I had people I could reach out to, so I was also Voxering my coach, right? I had that support available as well. We need that around us, right? So when we choose to become aware of all of this information and integrate it, so we've become aware of the energetic fields around us, we've become aware of how we fit into them, we've become aware of our personal energy and the changes that occur in that. We've planned our lives and our businesses knowing all of that, so in that safe structure and framework. And we have the support around. Remember, I said that I was fostering my coach and amongst that. It's just, when we have all of that around us, it's empowering and supportive, right? As a tool to power up your ability to achieve your goals without sacrificing you in the process. This is insanely powerful. If this is something you're curious about, please do let me know, because it's huge, right? You can pop your questions in the chat, DM me or email me, and I'll get back to you, right? So that is massive shift number 3 that we've talked about, is creating that sustainable structure so that you can achieve your goals without sacrificing you in the process, so that you can live the life of your dreams without sacrificing you, because that sacrifice is not on the life of your dreams, right? So it shouldn't be on the way there either. It doesn't have to be on the journey there. How radically different will your life and business be when you make these 3 shifts? So now that you've heard them, which one will you prioritize? Let's recap. Massive shift number 1, let go of others' expectations. Stop playing small. Give yourself radical permission to be you. Embrace your personal code and your inner gifts. Massive shift number 2, change your perspective of planning so that it's not just in your head, so that it's full-bodied and aligned, so that you're internally motivated rather than shooting on yourself. Massive shift number 3, create a sustainable structure and support system to achieve your goals without sacrificing you in the process. Which one is the priority for you in your business? You can see how they're all interweaved, right? You might want to think about one to make the top priority for you. You can tell now, I'm sure, what a difference they'll make for you. And it's hugely valuable for you to take the time to implement them. So I want us just to back up a little bit, because I have shared a lot with you today, and you may not have identified. Let's take a breath. Put your hand on your heart and say with me, I'm ready for my business breakthrough, Bonanza. I want you to take that on and feel what it will feel like when your business is profitable and prosperous, and you're working less hours than you are now, and everything takes less effort. When you're taking home all the money you want and living the lifestyle you choose for your family. What's that feeling that you're feeling? Could be peace, could be joy, could be delight, fulfillment. Why don't you breathe that in and know that it is possible for you. So you've learned some really good stuff today. I'm sure that and I hope that you've noted down some actions that you're going to take as a result of what we've talked about. And I'd love to hear how you go with those down the track. So please do let me know. And if you'd like to, you could pop in the comments what you're committing to as a result, you're doing as a result of this class. And I'm guessing that you probably still have questions like, will this really work for me? So how would you like to work with me directly? I'm going to offer you something amazing, a free call with me so that we can get you past that and have your very own business breakthrough bonanza, so that we'll identify which of those shifts is most important for you and how you can start to take it, all right, on that call, because obviously we can't do it all in one call. So this private consultation is normally worth $222, and I have time on my calendar. I've made time on my calendar for you to have your business breakthrough bonanza call with me. So if you would like to, please pop on over to speakwithdaphne.com and you can book your own call there. And I know that you can do this, because otherwise you wouldn't have been here and listened if you hadn't wanted that. So my only wish is for you to make a commitment, is that you do whatever it takes to start making a difference that you want in the world. And if you want help breaking through, then do please go and book that free call at Speak with Daphne so that you can get your own breakthrough bonanza. And thank you for coming today. I'm going to stop the recording now.